What up, everybody? In OG Power, Kanan was teaching Tariq how to play chess when Tariq said, "I get it, you gotta be one move ahead." And Kanan responded to Tariq saying, "Nah, son, you gotta be 3 moves ahead," and checkmating Tariq in their chess match. And at this time, Kanan was also teaching Tariq about using a sneak attack, saying the easiest way to sneak up on your enemies is to make them think they already won. And Tariq ultimately used this strategy to try to pin Ray Ray's murder on Kanan the very next episode. First, by planting the murder weapon in Kanan's trunk. Then, by having Tasha call the cops to report him missing. Ultimately, knowing that Kanan wouldn't go back inside, but would shoot it out with the cops instead. But Kanan also used this same advice that he gave Tariq about being 3 moves ahead to get to the top of the game, as we began to see him do in Season 3 of Raising Kanan. We got our first glimpse of Kanan being 3 moves ahead when he took out Ronnie. First, by staging his own kidnapping and making a ransom demand for $500,000. Kanan considered every piece on the board and used several people as pawns to execute his plan, starting out with Jukebox. Kanan met up with Jukebox after Ronnie shot at Rock. He was letting Jukebox know that he wasn't messing with Ronnie anymore and he had nothing to do with that. This was the first part of his plan because he made sure he was abducted in front of Jukebox so she would run back and tell Marvin and Rock what happened. Kanan made this move because Ronnie, Snaps, and Pop were pressing him about Rock causing problems and messing with their money. Ronnie was anticipating Rock handing over her plug to him and her business to him, and that's why he was supposed to get out the deal. But like Ronnie said, it was Kanan who wanted the money. This is because Kanan used the bag of money to distract Ronnie so he could get a clean shot at him. So we see Kanan was already calling plays and making power moves from a young age, and he's only gonna get better. Like Snaps told Kanan in Season 3, his mother is good at that kind of work. But Kanan replied to Snaps, so was he. Sam the Basshead even foreshadowed that Kanan was about to become a problem towards the end of Season 2, saying that Kanan was a pup, but he was about to become a wolf. But Kanan wasn't only just several moves ahead of everybody when he took out Ronnie, he was also utilizing Power Law 3 from the 48 Laws of Power, conceal your intentions. Not one person knew what Kanan was up to. Matter of fact, everybody thought he was doing the opposite of what was actually happening. Either though Kanan was being real with Jukebox about what was going on at the end of the day, he still staged the kidnapping that happened in front of her so she would run back to Rock and Marvin to tell them what was going on. Kanan concealed his intentions to Ronnie, Snaps, and Pop. Not any of them knew Kanan's true intentions, as well as Ronnie's soldiers who were involved in the kidnapping and everything else. He concealed his intentions so good that Rock and Howard went from thinking he was being abducted to thinking he was playing them, only to see him shoot Ronnie in the back of the head. And this was also the power law that Kanan had completely mastered by the time we were introduced to him in OG Power. First with his own son, Sean. When Sean told Kanan he was working for Ghost, Kanan was clearly upset about this, but he didn't let Sean know it. Instead, he concealed his intentions and used it to his advantage, seeing Sean as an inside man in Ghost operation. And he even continued concealing his true intentions to Sean once he got out of prison. It wasn't until Sean confronted him, thinking he snitched on Tommy, when Kanan revealed to Sean his true agenda. The whole time when Kanan first got out of prison, he wasn't just concealing his intentions to Sean. He was also doing the same thing with both Ghost and Tommy, acting like they were all still cool, and he just wanted to get back down. But his true intention was to eliminate both Ghost and Tommy and meet their plug to take over their entire organization. Then, after Ghost left Kanan for dead and Kanan recovered, he returned back to New York City, this time targeting Tariq, using the same old plan, concealing his intentions, showing up as an old friend of Ghost named Slim, with the real intention of using Tariq to get to Ghost. And he even continued concealing his intentions and was trying to take over Tommy's organization at the time he was killed. Now, looking at the people in Kanan's life on the current Raising Kanan timeline, Rock, Marvin, Lou, Jukebox, and eventually Breeze. Kanan can probably already outthink both Marvin and Lou, even at his current age, and we know him and Jukebox will be neck and neck throughout their lives, as we saw in OG Power, both very calculated in their own ways. Then there's his mother, Rock, who's most likely the reason why Kanan is able to conceal his intentions like he does in the first place, and also how he figured out to be 3 moves ahead of everybody, because he spent his childhood being manipulated himself and used as a pawn by his own mother, Rock. But at some point, this relationship's gonna come to a head because Kanan wants to be his own man and wants to be in the drug game, and we know that is the path he will ultimately go down. While Rock's doing everything she can to keep him under her as long as she can, and she's kind of straddling the fence whether she wants Kanan in the game or not. Then there's the Breeze factor. Like I talked about a couple days ago, there's a good chance that Kanan and Breeze will bond over their secrets. Kanan being one of the only people to know that Unique is still alive, and Unique knowing the truth that Howard is Kanan's real father. But at the end of the day, we know that Ghost kills Breeze, and he told Tariq he killed Breeze because Breeze was standing in the way of his future. Knowing how Kanan moves, there's a good chance that he manipulated the whole situation, but had to keep his hands clean and had an alibi when Ghost and Tommy killed Breeze. Just like we've seen Rock with an alibi time and time again throughout Raising Kanan when she sent somebody to do a hit for her. Then there's the conversation that Kanan had with Snaps and Pop in Season 3 when they asked him if he preferred to be feared or respected. And Kanan's answer was you can't have fear without respect or respect without fear. That fear is respect and respect is fear. As Kanan begins to rise to the top of the drug game before getting sent to prison by Ghost and Tasha, he will rule by fear. In Power, when Ghost first told Tasha about Milan, he said that Milan might be the most dangerous man that he's ever met. And the first person who came to Tasha's mind was Kanan, and she asked him if he was more dangerous than Kanan. But Ghost mentioned how Kanan operated on a street level, basically by using brute force. But Milan was more organized. And this lets us know what Kanan's reputation became in the streets, that he was feared. So by the time Raising Kanan transitions into Origins, I think we'll see Kanan make the full transition from a pup into a wolf. As we've started to see him make that turn little by little, starting out when he got robbed by Freddy. And he demonstrated and made an example out of Freddy as a result. And when Famous told Kanan the truth about how Rock put the gun in his backpack and said he didn't say anything to Kanan because Rock is scary, Kanan told Famous that he's scary too. And he proved that at the end of Season 3 by taking out Ronnie, who was one of the most feared people on the entire South Side. And when he was first introduced, they even said that he was the guy that you try to avoid, tries to avoid. So in Season 4, I expect Kanan to put all these things together all the more as he levels up in the drug game. Being more calculated and staying several steps ahead of everybody, concealing his intentions, and demanding respect by using fear. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.